subscribe button. Hit the bell icon. Hit that like, comment, and share button. Ladies and gentlemen, I had technical issues right there in the beginning, but today we're going to talk about the lockup period and how it pertains to IPOs. You know, those big IPOs we just had was DoorDash, and we had not Grubhub, but DoorDash and Airbnb had major IPOs. And there's a lockup period that's very important when you're doing an IPO like that. So you got to ask yourself, when a company comes out, what is the lockup period and why is it so important? So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to play a piece from our previous episode breaking down the lockup period. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and make sure you hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button. And here we go. Lockout period. Anybody know what that lockout period is? Comment in the comment box to tell me about that lockout period. And we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to ask you, what is Airbnb lockout period? What is DoorDash lockout period? These IPOs, what are their lockout periods? And why would you care as an investor? What is the lockout period? I'm talking about lockup. There's lockup, lockout. Sorry about that. Lockup, lockout. Okay, IPO lock up. All right, the key takeaways. An IPO lockup is a period of days, typically 90 to 180 days after an IPO, during which time shares cannot be sold by company insiders. Lockup periods typically apply to insiders such as company founders, owners, managers, and employees, but may not be included for early investors such as venture capitalists. The purpose of an IPO lockout period is to prevent insiders for manipulating the market with large numbers of shares as they become public, which could initially depress the stock price. All right, that's a textbook Investopedia word, but let's break it on down and see what it really says. The lockout period for, let's say for, like I think that was Matt that said that earlier. Justin said earlier, hey, these companies go for 97 cents back in 2009. For prime example, let's take a company that went for 97 cents. Let's say if I brought a bunch of Airbnb, I brought 200 shares of Airbnb for 97 cents back in 2009. And now you're talking about what, 11 years later, Airbnb goes public. They're going to tell me, Prince, the lock up period is, I'm talking about, what's it, the lock out? Okay, the lock up period is going to be 90 days. So that means when the market goes public, you as an insider, because you think about it, I bought this thing for 97 cents. Now it's $150. Guess what you want to do? You want to cash out, baby. That's the first thing an insider wants to do. I was right. I've hit the lottery. I want to cash out. Give me my money now, right? So what happens with the lockup period is it's saying that what happens is what they learned back in the day, back in like the 30s and the 40s, the 20s and the 30s and the 40s, what people would do, the day that the company would IPO, guess what all the insiders would do? They'll be cashing out. They'll start selling their stocks. As soon as they start to sell their stocks in massive amounts, the stock starts to drop drastically, right? So what the SEC does, it says, hey, look, all you insiders, the lockup period is going to be 90 days. So this company went public on December 11th. That's December, January to February, February to March. You must hold this company until March. What happens on the lockup period is that's when you can see a lot of people, insiders, getting out of the market, depressing the stocks. Lockup period, not lockout. Lockup period. That's why it's very important. When is your lockup period? Is it 90 days or is it 180 days, right? This is so that insiders can't go in and start cashing out, and founders and managers and people who got early stocks, early investors, they can't go in there and just start cashing out and selling hundreds of thousands of shares because the stock will pretty much crash. History has taught us that many times before. So that's the lockup period when it comes down to IPO. Another reason why it's a good idea to wait 3 to 4 months. Wait till the earnings come up. Wait till the lockup period is done to get a better picture. I didn't even start looking at Uber until it crashed to $25. I didn't even care about his IPO. It was IPO at like $47, almost $50. You know, it was like $40 and went up to $47. When it went down to 25, that's when I started looking at it. I was like, okay, let's see what we have here now. All right.